lot of people don't understand how painful it is when you are this young and someone that you thought you were going to spend your life with ends up becoming your fucking nightmare. Like every morning, I'll speak for myself, every morning I wake up, I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is my life. One thing I really hope like the younger girls like around my age who are going through a divorce would know, and this is something my therapist told me, it is better we are divorcing them now than wait 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and divorcing them when we have a bunch of fucking kids, a bunch of assets together. It is far better to divorce them now. Me personally, I was not even served properly with the divorce papers. Like he literally like texted me like, hey, you have divorce papers on your jewelry box. Like I didn't even get like served properly. However, I asked for an annulment. I asked for an annulment from this man. And then we found out we couldn't get an annulment. And then he literally served me divorce papers through text. Like, hey, you have divorce papers on your jewelry box. This girl, I think Loyola Stevens, she was talking about how she was served and how he was like, now he's like going after their unborn baby, like full custody. Get a lawyer. Like, I'm not even joking. Get a lawyer. I wished I would have gotten a lawyer sooner, because I remember when I first posted my video, like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna get divorced. I think I just got, my husband just asked for a divorce. I want an annulment. I don't want a divorce. I want an annulment. And a lot of people on TikTok was like, girl, you need to get a lawyer. And I was just like, no, this is gonna be like, it's okay. Me and him are, cool. This will be a very amicable divorce. And a girl was under my video, was like, no, girlie, like it's gonna start amicably and it's gonna end extremely bad if you don't really get on top of this. And because me and this person were very close and we're very, even like the first couple of days when we like, realized that, okay, this is not gonna work, we were still like buddies. Were we buddies? Hold on. No, we weren't really buddies, but we were very like, not how we are right now. And the moment I posted on TikTok about, oh my God, I feel so stupid for getting married and divorced in 8 days, and he cut my credit card off, immediately went from being amicable to him just like going at me. And because I'm like very vocal on TikTok, I share my feelings, I yak 24/7, and he is very tactical. He didn't say anything on socials, which I feel like that's something I wish I wouldn't have done, because he's like really quiet on socials and people don't know like what he was doing to me outside, like when we were in our house, what he was saying to me, what he was actually doing to me behind closed doors. Obviously, like I look like I was the aggressor, and
This is a bit confusing. Based on what she just said, he was the one causing issues, but at the same time, he filed for divorce. So, who exactly no longer wanted to be in the marriage? From what we can see, they probably would still be married if he hadn't taken this step. Therefore, what she said doesn't seem to make much sense.
Telling the girls right now, get a lawyer. Like, do not just get a fucking lawyer. Please, like, listen to me. Get a lawyer.
We don't know exactly what happened because she didn't share many details. But one thing is certain. After just 8 days, he had seen enough to question the entire thing, to the point of ending it in such a short time. At this point, everyone is asking the same question. What happened? Why didn't he see a future with her after only 8 days of marriage? Those are the questions that would make the whole story easier to understand. This is why it's so important to date someone for a significant amount of time before deciding to take it to this level. Some people pretend to be someone they're not until they get the ring, and only then does their true self emerge. So the longer you take to truly get to know each other, the better. I believe he wouldn't have taken her to the altar if he had known more about her. Therefore, to avoid all the drama and the financial cost that often comes with it, you should make sure you really know the person you're planning to marry. Because spending thousands of dollars on a wedding, only to end up divorced a few days or weeks later, doesn't make sense. And that's not even touching on the emotional toll, which I'm sure wasn't easy to deal with. This is a situation worth studying, especially because typically, men are the last to abandon a relationship. Most would agree that it's rare to hear of men walking away from a marriage to find themselves, or because they no longer feel a spark. That's why this case is drawing so much attention. Why couldn't he wait another day, or even another month?
And this is something my therapist told me, it is better we are divorcing them now than wait 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and divorcing them when we have a bunch of fucking kids, a bunch of assets together. It is far better to divorce them now.
I'm confused. Who actually left the relationship? She's talking as if she was the one who ended things, disregarding the fact that she got the divorce news by text. At this point, I think she unknowingly stole his line because he was the one who decided he no longer wanted to be in that marriage. And the ironic part is that she now wants to make it seem like she was the one who didn't see a future with him.
I've been engaged 5 times. Yes, these are all real. I do offer the rings back. They always say no every time. And I'm going to tell you 3 things that I do that makes me special. Side note, this is my favorite kind of ring, the tri, beginning, middle, and end, a few must. Number 1, I don't really give a fuck. I just try not to give them my time of day. They want to see me, yeah, maybe. Maybe I have time for you, maybe I don't. I don't know. You know, just don't overly be like, yes, I can see you at the drop of a dime. Don't worry. No. Stress them out a little bit. They like it. 2, when we are together, I'm super fun. I'm super girly. Whenever they do something, you overly go, oh my God, babe, that's like the best thing ever. You're so strong. You're so smart. You're so great. You know, just overly like compliment and make them feel really good about themselves. For example, they fix your bike, you grab them by the face and you go, oh my God, babe, I didn't know you knew how to do that. I don't know how to do that. You're so smart. Mwah. You give them a little kiss on their little forehead and you just keep kissing them and go like, you're so awesome. Oh my God. Give them that big hug and put them in their masculine energy. You know, I look at these rings and I feel sadness because I truly do love all of them and I will never talk anything negative about any of my exes ever. And my last point is very controversial, but no matter how you slice it and dice it, men are simple creatures. And all they want is just something pretty to look at. I try to look as best as I can every time. Just to close it off, yes, I know that I'm the problem and I have abandonment issues because my mommy and daddy didn't love me enough.
She got more rings than LeBron. I think this isn't something to brag about. Maybe that's why you have been engaged 5 times. Your ideas are not working. I can't even get engaged once. Is it just me, or is she clearly bragging about the fact that she has 5 failed relationships that went as far as receiving proposals? I didn't know people could be proud of things that didn't go as planned. Based on this short clip, it's clear that those men wasted their time and money on someone who wasn't on the same page when it came to marriage. Did you notice how she viewed those rings as if they were some sort of prize or trophy? She seemed genuinely happy to have collected them, and that says a lot. I just hope those men were able to bounce back and eventually found someone who is more serious about marriage and relationships in general, because it's clear she wasn't the right one.
Sometimes men disappear because they feel like their effort is not being reciprocated.
Talk about it.
So hear me out. A lot of women feel like their approach to dating is, you as a man have to prove to me you are worthy of my time, my energy, and me being more vulnerable to you. And because of what you've been through, you think that's the right way to do it. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with a man who's actually serious and he's seeing you're holding back, you got walls up, he has concerns that you're wasting his time. So now he falls off because he's like, all right, she's tripping, she's not really making any effort. But because there's still a desire there, because he still likes her, I think the comment, the like, is a temperature check. Let me see how she'll respond. Let me see if I can still reignite something here. But it all stemmed from, are we actually making a mutual effort to get to know each other?
Okay.
So just make sure, before you start throwing all kinds of accusations at the man, ask yourself, was I coming correct in this process or not?
This is simply the reality of many relationships. What makes it even more interesting is that after the relationship fails, the same people often act surprised when they're told their partner wasn't happy, and that this is the reason he left. The queen mindset is misleading many. It creates a dynamic where one expects to always be on the receiving end, completely ignoring the fact that their partner also needs to feel seen and valued. He is just as much a part of the relationship, and reciprocity should come from both sides. Imagine being with someone who believes their only role in the relationship is to be served and cared for. Even those with a provider mindset will eventually get tired, because no one can carry the entire relationship alone forever. They will reach their limit. And this is why those who expect one person to bear the full weight of the relationship should know they are being unreasonable, and that's exactly why it often fails.
Hey, why would you say you were gonna call me when you get home and you never called me when you got home? So you said you were gonna call me when you get out the shower, you never call me when you get out the shower.
Huh? What the fuck?
I'm finna start my period. I don't got time for this.
Baby, come on.
I don't.
Snuggums.
I don't.
Baby.
This is one of those situations where the guy really needs to run, and I mean it. Unless you're truly prepared and willing to handle a lot of challenges in your life, you should seriously reconsider getting involved in this type of relationship, as it often brings a great deal of drama.
I spent about 1.5 years wondering if I should get a divorce. The hardest question you will ever have to ask yourself is, do you want to make it work? Personally, the yearn for freedom was stronger than my yearn to make it work. My ex-husband was such a great man, which is what tortured me with my decision. But all I know is I just felt this yearning to explore myself without him. And I felt like where I was going in my life, he wasn't able to go with me, and this was a journey that I had to walk alone. But that period when I was unsure of what to do or if I should leave was agonizing. I was tortured. I was unwell. I was sick. I was scared. I was self-destructive. I had one foot in one life and one foot in another life, and I just was like walking back and forth trying to figure it out. Once you make a decision of what you're going to do, you can finally move. But until then, you are just stuck. I ended up cheating at the very end of my marriage because I did not want to disappoint him. I didn't know how to break his heart, and I just butchered the job.
Already broken.
It was interesting that she began the video by praising him. She wanted everyone to know that he had done nothing wrong. In fact, he was a great husband. I understand that many of us might find this confusing, especially since so many men are genuinely trying to be the best husbands they can be, hoping their efforts will make their wives happy enough to want to stay. But as we can see sometimes, even that isn't enough. In this case, she admitted that at some point she wanted out. She was heading toward a place where he no longer fit into her life. Yet, instead of being honest and open about it, she chose to step out of the marriage. What makes this even more interesting is that she claimed she didn't talk to him because he was a good man, and she didn't want to hurt his feelings by telling him about the separation. But I bet he would have appreciated honesty far more than being cheated on. That's what she should have considered most. Can you imagine how confused he must have been when he found out that the woman he probably loved and would have done anything for had decided to cheat on him? We can't fully grasp how deeply that must have affected him. Sadly, some men really struggle to recover from experiences like this, and the heartbreaking truth is that it all could have been avoided if she had just been honest from the beginning. Hopefully, he was able to move on from the situation and eventually found a woman who truly values a guy like him, a man devoted to his family.